And, I see a lot of manipulation. There are powers behind the scenes, and this is, this is the thing that people need to see and to understand. It's not the few people there or the crowds there in Ferguson that I am concerned about. Is the parties that are trying to to influence this thing, to take it in a certain direction that they want to bring it, to bring about certain things on this nation. And, we, like you mentioned, in the prophecy of Dmitry Duduman, he saw that happening. Communist, socialist, provocateurs stirring trouble all over the country. And when the country was busy taking care of this business, that is when he was going to get attacked by Russia and by China and by the enemies of this nation. And, I am pretty good, Larry, at connecting the dots, and I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing. Several months ago, in last year, and for the last several years, this country has been paired, has laws been passed, things done to weaken the military, to cut the budgets for all kinds of things that the defenses this nation had, cut down the armed forces, cut down the weaponry, cut down the missiles, cut down everything to the bone. And the Secretary of Defense resigned or was fired. And all this just is very suspicious to me, Larry. So I want to hear your comments on all this.
Well, interestingly, there was two things I heard today, actually. I had looked, Fox did kind of a little bit of digging and talking to people around the Pentagon about Hagel resigning, and they said basically the report is he was fired. He didn't resign, he was fired, and it seems that he was butting heads with the Obama administration, especially certain people in high places, and over the cuts in the troops, equipment, the cuts in our nuclear systems, really just almost everything that protects America, we're having chop, chop, chop. And we're giving all our money away to other nations, and it's actually, what's interesting, Augusto, is the fact that we're giving all of our money to our enemies. And but people go on. They don't. But one of the interesting things was today, though, to go back to since I said something about the highest office in our land, talking about Ferguson. I watched that last night, and I watched also that there was no National Guard, even though a state of emergency was declared, and National Guard called in. There were no National Guard in Ferguson, and so they burned a whole lot of the town down. And they shot at the police, and they shot everything else up, and a lot of violence. But, there was a lot of reports this morning on, well, where was it? And then the lieutenant governor of Missouri came on, and he gave a statement, interestingly, about possible, leaning on from Washington, D.C., leaning on the governor not to put the National Guard into Ferguson. And this is what's interesting, Augusto. You're always out there. If you're looking close enough, I'm like you might find another dot. Well, here's a dot. This is actually a black dot. Fox News interviewed the black sheriff called, and I'll name him, David Clarke, C-L-A-R-K-E, if anybody wants to Google him. He's the county sheriff of Milwaukee County in Missouri. He's black. I'll repeat that again. And listen, his interesting scenario was, he said the Ferguson riots are part of Obama's political strategy. I can't even add to that.
Wow. That is profound. That is profound. And, there is just too many things here that it's impossible to ignore. And so, all the people have to do is connect the dots, and that will tell them where this thing is heading. And where it is heading, it is not good. It is not good. What I see happening is the destruction of the rule of law.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the lawlessness.